So let's say you've clicked on this video and you are a YouTuber hoping to break into, the upper echelon, however you say that, of the YouTube platform. Maybe you're hoping to join the likes of Mr. Beast, in terms of subscribers, financial gain, all that good stuff. You want to be the next thing on YouTube, the next it on YouTube. Well, I would like to tell you you're in the right place, but also the wrong place. Look, I can't turn you into the next Mr. Beast. Nobody can. But to be fair, why would you want to be the next Mr. Beast when you can be the first you? On the surface, you could probably look at my channel and say, wow, this guy's been doing this for 6 years now and he barely not even has 1,200 subscribers. Why in the world would I want to listen to you and your advice? And yeah, that's true, I don't have insanely good numbers. And maybe I'm not in the best place to tell you what exactly to do in order to get big. I don't have the miracle growth formula for your channel, like a lot of channels will claim to. But I believe I can and am qualified to tell you what you shouldn't do, and mistakes that you can avoid that I've made that I feel like have probably kept me down and kept me from getting big on YouTube. Before we get in too deep, I'm going to start off by doing something unconventional, and it's kind of what I've already been doing. I'm not making this video super high edited, over edited, gonna add a bunch of jump cuts, camera cuts all the time, flashing text, crazy sound effects, and all that jazz. I'm just gonna be playing Super Smash Bros. Melee on my favorite console. Shout out GameCube gang, by the way. And you'll see why I'm doing this later, but in the meantime, if you'd be so kind as to subscribe, leave a comment, and maybe state your goal for YouTubing, or the kind of content you make, the niche you're in. Heck, you can leave your favorite YouTube video or your favorite creator in the comments. And it doesn't necessarily have to be me, by the way. So last week I was on one of my off days, one of the only off days I've had in the last 2 weeks, and I was sitting down to eat lunch, sort of bored and kind of just unmotivated, and I was flipping through YouTube like I normally do when I eat, and I stumbled across a video by Neat on the Rocks is his name, and it's titled "You Should Be a YouTuber" or artist/creator. It caught my eye because also the thumbnail had Sonic in it, and the text said "Your time is now" in bold, and it kind of reminded me of the John Cena theme. I'm a John Cena fan and wrestling fan, by the way, so spoiler alert, whoop-de-doo. But I had never seen any of his videos before, and it just caught me off guard because when I clicked on it, I was, I had been in the span of watching a lot of those help videos on YouTube about how to grow, how to get big, how to gain subscribers, all of that stuff, the just really cookie cutter stuff on YouTube. And his was kind of different, it was unconventional, like I'm trying to make mine. And he didn't follow a lot of the advice that I had been seeing other people, give out on YouTube. He didn't do a lot of editing. It was just him talking about the state of YouTube, talking about Dharma, authenticity, creator burnout, and a lot of YouTube misconceptions. Oh, and also Spider-Man 2. But he was just playing Sonic, and he was kind of just giving feedback and talking about his own life and what he's figured out with YouTube, and it kind of inspired me to do the same. It actually really energized me, and I was worried, and it was kind of in that loop that I'm sure other people have felt before, where you kind of just feel like you're alone and that everyone else is having success on YouTube or everyone else is having success in life, and for some reason it's just not translating to you, and you feel like you're left out and you're failing yourself or failing others that believe in you. Also, love how he just fell. That was awesome. I'll take that win. But he was talking about a lot how he was working a full-time job and he was really burnt out because he was trying to do his full-time job while also, oh gosh, I hate these redeads. They're not fun in the actual Legend of Zelda game, and they're not fun in this one either. I haven't played adventure mode in a while. I forgot how fun it was. A lot of people, sorry, I know I'm kind of off on a different subject. I know a lot of people are ranting about how, oh, we want to see, Subspace Emissary was so good, and we want to see a return to that. But also, a lot of people were sleeping on adventure mode. Adventure mode was actually kind of entertaining, and World of Light and Ultimate was good too. But anyways, back to what I was actually making the video for. Basically, he was making his videos in the very little free time that he had, and he was doing a lot of hard work. You know, his parents was telling him about the whole, you know, put in lots of hard work. Hard work, you know, translates to success, and you know, you just need to put in more work. And he was spending increasingly more time in his content. I just skipped over that because, you know, it's not the right way that I want to go. But he was spending increasingly more time doing his content, kind of doing the same things, and it wasn't really translating to anything. It was just translating to more burnout. Also, oh, I thought I just killed myself. It was just translating to more burnout, and I was like, man, that's kind of where I'm at, you know. And he was talking about how he was watching things where people on YouTube were telling him to edit differently, over edit. You gotta add a cut every 5 seconds. You gotta grab people's attention. Don't make content about this. Make content about this. This is what you should do. And how it was really just, you know, burning him out, and he was losing also, I died. Well, I'm just gonna get this so he can. Oh my gosh. Freaking, okay. Wow. You'll see I'm a little rusty at this. I'm not the best. And playing while talking is also very difficult too. I picked a tough game to do this, but like I said, you'll see why. Oh, that was beautiful. Yep, no way he's getting out of that. Oh, Mr. Saturn. I'll take him with me just for fun. But he was using editing not as a creative outlet to tell stories and create awesome content that he wanted. It was more of like, hey, we just need to manipulate people's attention, and you know, oh, that could not have been more perfectly timed. And then I find the Triforce. Awesome. But he was using it as a means just to grab people and hook them in and basically sell them a product, sell their attention, and, you know, was talking about struggling to find his content or finding his calling, and called out one of life's and also YouTube's biggest lies, kind of like what his parents was saying, was that hard work does not equal success. I'm sure if you've been on YouTube for any amount of time, uploaded any amount of YouTube videos, whether it be 1 or 100 or 1,000, is that you can spend half an hour and make a video that does super well. I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. And then I'll turn around and be like, oh my gosh, this video did well. What if I spent all day and I made this really great, I spent like 10 hours making this one video. This could be a really great video. This could be one that people love. And then it underperforms and it does worse than my other videos. Yeah, it's depressing. You deserve that, Zelda. Oh my gosh, come on now. This is where the big boys fight. Everyone that plays Super Smash Bros. Melee knows this is where it goes down. Oh, no, I thought she was going to go for it. Snorlax. I guess I'm right. I'm just going to stay over here. Maybe a little bit cheesy. Oh my gosh. Okay, thank you for that. Oh, that actually worked better than I thought it would. But not perfect. So much damage, bro. Come on. Oh my gosh, 203. There we go. It just took a little ricochet there. But anyways, basically everything that he was saying in the video, he was absolutely right on. I didn't really disagree with anything he was saying. And I can tell you, like, point blank, honestly, I've never subscribed to a guy quicker. I have not a lot of YouTubers I love, but enough that keep me busy. But out of all the ones I've loved and been watching for quite a long time, never just really related with what someone was saying quite like what he was, you know, saying. It really resonated with me and stuck with me. You know, warning. Much like him, I also work a full-time job. I manage a YouTube channel, and I have to manage out and balance out spending time with friends, family, and my new wife, by the way, which, you know, she's awesome. So, and very supportive of the channel. I need to say that and get that out of the way. But it's, you know, oh my gosh, I missed that jump. I gotta get out of here. Luigi's about to die. Oh, I can't. I'm dashing off and not jumping. Oh, I always cut this real close, and then of course it distracts me from what I'm trying to say. Oh, can I do it? I'm gonna have to get silent here. Oh, I'm almost there. Almost there. Oh, easy. Oh, 5 seconds left. Time to spare. But one thing that I really relate to is that I do get burnt out, like a lot. It's a very common thing. I get frustrated with YouTube. You know, I want to give up, consider selling out and turning to the toxic corporate YouTube stuff that everyone, including myself, hates. And And one thing I definitely need to note here, just for the whole video, is that burnout is not the same thing as being depressed. I don't want to throw that word around lightly. I've experienced depression myself, and have been around others, family members, friends that have experienced that, and so I understand that's not. I'm not trying to be one of those that's being overly dramatic and says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so depressed. I'm depressed because my YouTube video, my YouTube video is not big." That's a very selfish thing to do, and I'm not trying to. Obviously, there are bigger issues in the world. Oh, okay, I'll take it. But I will say that burnout can absolutely lead to depression. Just getting a little sad over one video not doing well is not the same thing as being depressed. But if you let it grow and you let it snowball out of control, it can absolutely affect other areas of life, and it can turn into depression. And that has just about happened to me several times, where I thought I was no good at YouTubing. I thought I didn't have a calling in life. And honestly, that's kind of a whole scam, your whole calling in life. There's lots of people that, they don't ever end up doing the job that they love, but they are still happy because they're providing for their family or themselves. There's people that do the job that they love, and they are lucky, but they would say that they're probably not the best at it, and they don't end up working at it for very long, or they move on to a different job, and everyone's shocked, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, you were perfect for this job. We thought you'd be here forever. Or they get into what they believe is their calling, and then they ended up being wrong, and they find out that, hey, I actually don't like this at all. Like, this is not what I want to do my whole life. Boom. That down kick is devastating. And lately, the last month or so, I've been kind of unhappy with my job. I've been wanting so desperately to find what I thought was my calling in life, my wife is awesome. She's a teacher. She actually just graduated, and so shout out to her. That's awesome. She's a superstar, and one of my favorite people in life. And she gets, she's gonna get to do what she wants to do. She was doing it last year as an apprenticeship, and is going to be an actual full-time teacher this year, and that's awesome. I'm so happy for her, and that's what she wants to do. She's wanted to do that for a while. She has a passion for teaching the next generation, educating, wanting to communicate with kids, and lead them and educate them, and I think that's awesome. I think we need more of that in today's world, and we have too many people in professions that just are there for the paycheck, or they don't care. And trust me, teachers, they're not rich. They don't make a lot. So anyone that says, "Oh, they're just doing it for the money," that's a scam. That's not the case at all. Also, Star, about to toast him. Oh my gosh, I didn't even need the star. I could have just threw that at him. Okay, but I say that because seeing her get to do that, and we've had these talks. Seeing her get to do that, that's awesome. That's phenomenal. But it kind of inspires me and pushes me. I want that for my life, man. I don't want to be stuck in a dead-end job. Nobody does. We all want something, and that's not wrong to want that for yourself. It's not selfish to want that for yourself. It's just being passionate about what you want and wanting to be happy. If anyone tells you that's selfish, or using someone, and like I said, we've talked about it. She knows I'm not I'm jealous of it, but not in I deserve it more than you sense. It's out of a good jealousy, hey, I see what you have, and I'm not wanting to take that from you. Instead, I just I also want that. I want us to both have that, and she understands, and we've talked about it, and I think that's someone that's something that's very relatable. I can see that multiple, I would assume lots of people want that. They all want to find a calling in their life. They want to do something of that sort. Much like she loves teaching and educating, I love creating. And that sucks, because these days that is way too broad. How do you turn that into a job? I love editing, I love creating, I love making people laugh and making their days better. And one of the reasons I even started on YouTube was because when I was growing up and I was watching YouTube, I got into Let's Plays and gaming videos. The Runaway guys on YouTube, an old channel. You might know Mario Stupid Mario 60. I forgot what it was, but it used to be the Hobo Bros is what it was for a while, and they just did modding and Nintendo memes and stuff like that and stupid stuff. But it was hilarious. Watched a lot of that. They did like Gmod, like theaters and stuff like that. But it was awesome. Did, you know, a little bit of a, oh gosh, oh, I am shocked that I made it back. You know, a little bit of PewDiePie, you know, a little bit of everything, but mostly gaming stuff. And I saw that, and I was like, you know what, I want that for myself. You know, like how they entertained me when I was depressed, or again, not depressed, but like just having a bad day. There was a couple times I really was depressed, and I would just turn and go home, and that's what I looked forward to, was getting home or in between classes. You know, I didn't love high school. It wasn't the best time for me, as I think most people would relate with. But I was like, you know what? At least I have these YouTube videos to entertain me and make me feel a little bit better about myself, and, you know, make me forget about the bad day that I've had. And I just thought about how I want that for other people. Like, I want other people to see my content and let it, you know, make them forget about the bad days that they've had, the bad times they've had. It sounds really sappy, but that's honestly my why. You hear a lot of people say, you know, what's your why? You gotta have a why, which is kind of true. Like, if you're just there to be there, like, awesome, cool, you know, hope it goes well for you. But I feel like you're gonna last a lot longer, and you're gonna be a lot more successful if you have a why. Because when things start to go wrong and your numbers aren't looking good, if you're just there to there, you can get bored, you can leave, you can lose interest. But the people that stick with it are the people that have a mission, they have a goal. You know, if I had a subscriber for every video that I had ever worked on that underperformed and made me upset, you know, and even more so led to doubt creeping in and a video that made me want to give up and quit YouTube, well, then I'd probably have I was gonna say like double my subscribers, but I don't have enough videos for that. But the point being is that everyone has experienced some kind of failure. Everyone has experienced some video underperforming, not doing as well. I would say nobody on YouTube ever has every single one, 100% of their videos hit exactly where they want to. Even Mr. Beast. You want to talk about Mr. Beast? Even Mr. Beast, I would say, has probably almost certainly had videos underperform or videos not hit his expected goal, especially when he was starting out. Now, it might be different now that he is, you know, one of, if not the biggest name on YouTube, but it wasn't always like that. You know, not everyone can. I'm going to see if I can. Ooh. Oh. Are you kidding me? I had like an inch to go. But I have my wife to thank for that. She's inspired me so much, picked me back up more times than I can count when I've been down. And she's told me before that you'll only go as far as you take yourself. No one's going to carry you, you know, to your goal for you. No one's going to do that. That's completely on you. If you don't think that you're going to make it on YouTube, or you don't think you're going to make it to a goal or do a dream in life, and you give up or you never start, then yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like that would be a scenario in which you would want to prove yourself wrong. I would say, I think it's entirely common that, and most people would relate with me, is that I guess I should reword it. How many times do you feel like you are your own worst enemy? Like, you're your own biggest roadblock? You know, that's something that's like, that's deep, man. Like, that's like, sometimes I get upset when I'm like, oh, so-and-so is not supporting enough. So-and-so doesn't think I can do it. You know, whether that's your significant other, your mother, father, brother, best friend, whoever. Like, no, most oftentimes it's not. It's you that, you know, you don't think you can do it. And you, like me, might have a bad habit of projecting that onto people. You don't believe in yourself, and so you assume that no one else believes in you. And I get it. I've been there, but it's just not entirely fair on those people around you. And probably one of the, if not the biggest thing I want to get into is the absolute scam that is all these toxic positivity channels and all these videos that try to preach these things to you. Don't get me wrong, all about positivity. but not in the sense that you have to watch my video. You need this tip. Stay till the end of the video. You have to do this. Here are 3 things that will guarantee. Here's how to grow in just one video. Here's how to double your subscriber count in 1 month or in 1 week. You know, they try to put these finite numbers on you and unrealistic expectations of, you know, how to grow and what to do, and they're like, oh, you have to edit this way, and you have to make your title look like this. You have to have your thumb that tell you have to, and, you know, don't do, you know what I'm talking about. I don't really need to repeat myself. I'm sure I'm speaking to the choir right here. It's the biggest load of Donkey Kong doo-doo I've ever heard. Like, no, don't try to be another Mr. Beast clone. You know how many people on YouTube want to be a Mr. Beast? Like, he's awesome, don't get me wrong, and he makes great content. But we don't need a million of Mr. Beast, and I'm sure Mr. Beast would agree with that. I mean, it's gonna sound really cringy and, you know, really corny, but put the frickin' you back in YouTube. Like, that's what it's the kind of content you want. You know, yes, you have to speak to your audience, and yes, there are, you know, things you can do to, like, common goals and tips and strategy you can do to improve your craft and get better. Yeah, it's that way with anything. But unlike most other jobs where there is a finite, you know, and definitive way to do things, you know, like, you know, if you got an office job, or you know, you have to do things in a certain formula, a certain way to make sure they get done right. If you're working in, you know, in food, well, then you have to follow a recipe in order for it to turn out the way you want it to. And sometimes there's a little bit of liberties you can take and a little bit of creativity and kind of deviating. But for the most part, you know, if a recipe calls for, I don't know, using an apple, maybe it's something you can get away with using a pear in. I don't know. I'm not that great of a cook. But if something calls for an apple and you use an orange, it's probably not going to work out the same. You know, if a recipe is calling for, you know, fettuccine noodles, and you use the bow ties, it might be a little weird looking or a different consistency, but you could probably still get away with it. But if it calls for fettuccine noodles, or shoot, what's the type that you use for like ravioli? You know, it's like a pocket of meat. If you try to do that with just a regular spaghetti noodle, you're just kind of making spaghetti. You're not really making ravioli. You know, it's required. Whereas in YouTube and being creative like this, there's so many different ways you can do it. And I think that some people don't understand that, and, you know, they try to sort of gatekeep how you can get big on YouTube. And it's funny too, because most of these content creators that have a certain way and they want to give you, oh, I have the secret hidden formula. You follow this exactly and you're guaranteed to get big on YouTube. If you do that, then it's going to work and you're going to get big. And if you don't get big, well, it's just because you didn't do exactly what I told you to and you didn't stick to it, and you just need to keep doing it better. Well, most of these guys are speaking out of, like, why would they want to share their advice? YouTube, whether they want to admit it or not, and whether you want to admit it or not, it's a business and it's a competitive platform. You know, I believe that there are enough. I mean, honestly, YouTube is so big. There are so many people that watch YouTube. Trust me, and not everyone's interested in the same thing. There is more than enough, whether you're into finance, fitness, food, how-to videos, you know, whatever it is. There's more than enough viewers for all of us. Even if you're into gaming like I am, please start a channel. Do the best you can. Because a lot of what people don't understand is they see competition and they want to eliminate the competition. They want to take it out so they can give you false positivity. They can give you like bad advice. And people will listen to them thinking that they have their best intentions at heart. And they don't. That's just not how that works. But in anything, competition is good, because competing with one another, you want competition around. It doesn't mean that you can't want to be better than them, sure. But competition breeds creativity, and competition makes people better. It's like, how is a football team going to get any better if they have no one to play? You know, if we only had one football team in the NFL, then sure, they would win every season, but they, nobody would want to watch them. They wouldn't be very entertaining. They wouldn't have, sure, they could, be the only team people can root for and cheer for, but that's not going to be fun. No one's going to want that. If there's 2 fast food chains across the street from each other, then they're going to have options. They're going to have different things that they can pick, and it's going to make each chain have different ideas and want to get better. Whereas if there's one, they can make whatever prices they want, they can do whatever they want, and it's nothing to them. Let's go. Did I just finish? I haven't done this in a while. Do I fight Matt? I almost said Meister Hand. Nope, I guess I'm not fighting Master Hand. Maybe that's at the classic. Okay, there's this part. Well, I was trying to time the video up to where I'd be done by the end of this, but I hadn't played in so long, I kind of forgot how long it took. But yeah, just, some YouTuber, it's like, no matter how much makeup you put on Bowser, he's still going to be Bowser. And some creators will tell you, oh, no, my advice, my tips and strategy, if you do what I say, well, then instead of treating it like makeup that's just going to try to disguise it on the outside and still going to be ugly on the inside, they're like, oh, no, imagine it's like I forgot whatever the mushroom, the power-up is called that they introduced in Mario Bros. U Deluxe. It'll turn Bowser into Bowsette. I'm not going to get into all the Bowsette stuff, which it's just a load of Donkey Kong doo-doo, like I said earlier. That's not how YouTubing works. People will sniff that out. People can detect when you're not authentic. Authenticity speaks louder than most anything else. People can see through when you're being fake, and also too, even if you do get big, even let's say you take this advice, you do what you just kind of make this cookie cutter content and you get big. Well, cool, congrats. Are you gonna love it? Are you gonna want to do this long time? You've totally lost you've gotten away from your why and why you got into YouTubing. All right, I just hopped into classic mode since I couldn't finish all what I was gonna say in adventure mode. But listen, I'm really gonna try to blow your mind here with something. All right. So yes, I've been making content for 6 years now, and no, I don't have very many subscribers. It depends on who you ask, I guess. Almost 1,200. And no, I'm not monetized. I don't make any money off of YouTube. I've never made a single penny off of YouTube. So by a lot of standards, people would say I've been unsuccessful. I've failed so far. But here's the part where I blow your mind. Even though I've been doing this for the song and had not a ton to show for it, I still have had a freaking blast. If I had to stop today, yeah, sure, I'd be a little upset. If I was told I had to quit or something came up where I just didn't have time, I wasn't able to make YouTube videos, I would be upset and wish that I could keep making them, because of course I still have goals and things that I want to do and achieve, and I want to succeed more. But it wouldn't be the end of the world. I could rest happy knowing that all right, I did a good job. Maybe I don't have all the numbers to show for it, but I had a lot of fun. And it sounds cliche, especially with the whole sports thing of like, oh, it's not about winning, it's just about having fun. And some people say, oh, that's false. Some people say, oh yeah, that's really what it is about. And I didn't think I'd ever take this side, but I'm going to. I actually would maybe agree that it's true, at least in YouTube. Obviously if you're in it to make money, then no, that's not true. But if you're in it to make money, 99% of the time you won't succeed. And also, why would you be in it just for money? It's YouTube, man. That is not consistent. But no, I would be okay with it. I remember all of the fun that I have creating the funny and edgy videos with buddies, the inside jokes and all. Also, I love how you're freaking standing on a GameCube. Again, shout out GameCube Gang. All my homies love GameCubes. Okay, literally just one more. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Failure. Sometimes you'll experience that, whether it's in Super Smash Bros. Or in YouTube, anywhere in life. Sometimes you'll experience that. Pick yourself up. But no, I would look back at all the videos on my channel. They serve as a log of memories for different time periods, whether I was living with my best friends in college, friggin' making a Taylor Swift video just as a joke with my... Oh, bro, how did he dodge that? Making a Taylor Swift video as a joke for my my girlfriend or fiance at the time, and then it actually blowing up sort of and being my most viewed video at 3K, and now she only wants me to make Taylor Swift content. Not going to do that, by the way. Or having to record my Super Mario Bros. 3 videos all in one take because I didn't have editing software yet because I was broke, and having to whisper because I could only record when my family was asleep. So most of my videos would sound like this when I was talking like this either really late at night or early in the morning. Yeah, and I wondered why I didn't go viral and go big. And part of the reason why I was such a small YouTuber for so many of those first like 3 years or so was because I was just sitting in my room making these really lame YouTube videos, and I wasn't sharing them with anyone. I was so embarrassed about my channel. I didn't tell anyone about it, didn't post about it on social media. I just like hoped that random people would find it, and again, I wasn't making thumbnails. It was bad. But the reason I picked out Super Smash Bros. Melee to play is because I believe there's a teaching moment here that could translate to YouTubing, and you just gotta bear with me and hear me out. About a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, I was attending university here where I live now, and I was really eager I was actually trying out and training to join the college's esports team. And, I was wanting to play Super Smash Bros. They had an Ultimate team, and I was really passionate about it. I loved it. That was my thing. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Back at the other university the club was way too big. They had too many people, and it was very unorganized. But this one was kind of smaller knit because it was a smaller college. So I was really eager to get in and kind of find my community and my group of people. And, I was excited for it. I talked it up for a while and was practicing. The day that goes to, go meet the team, sign up for tryout, do all that stuff, yada, 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 get some practice matches in, kind of meet everyone. And I met the team captain, and mostly everyone there was kind of quiet, but nice for the most part. A little odd, but, again, we're all just a bunch of gamers that were probably introverts and not used to being around strangers. But I met the team captain there, and he really just kind of off-put me. Like, I don't know how, but, I do know how, but I don't know how I let him. I basically let him destroy my love for Super Smash Bros. For, like, a solid year. I was just not, because of some comments and some way he went about things, just wasn't interested. I played some matches, thought I did pretty well, was told that I was probably going to be making the team, that I looked pretty good, and so I was stoked. But then when I talked with him about it and was like, okay, trying to, make some good footing, want a good relationship with the team captain, obviously, I totally just tornadoed into the water. That's awesome. Would that make that a hurricane, I guess? Yeah, for real. But I started talking to him, just trying to, create some goodwill, start a good relationship, stuff like that. And he gave me this whole spiel about how, well, you're not a top player yet, and you're not going to be that good because, you don't do these type of things, and you need to do this. And this is it. But don't worry, you can be really good. I see potential in you. You could be really good. You could be great. You could be a top player, but you need to learn from me. You need to train with me and let me take you under my wing, and kind of went in like how a lot of the toxic positivity YouTubers, how they will act or speak on. And it's that, like, I needed him. I needed to follow his advice. I needed to only stick to things that he said. He told me I needed to play 3 to 5 hours of Smash Bros. A day, and I can only play with him or other competitive people, because he asked me who I normally practice with, and I was like, well, I don't have a lot of friends that play Smash Bros. I have a couple that are, some of my good friends that will play every now and then, like online when we can or whenever we meet up. I said sometimes I just play against my wife. Also, I chose the wrong path, bro. I failed twice. And sometimes I just play with my fiance, and he was like, well, is she any good? And I was like, she's not really. She's trying, but she's trying, and we just play for fun. And he was like, yeah, don't do that. That'll make you worse. You need to only play with people that are better than you, and only people that are playing competitively. And like, did not want me, as my fiance was, she was my fiance at the time, but like, as she was there right with me, basically told me that I'm not allowed to play with her anymore, can't play with my other friends, and was like, yeah, you need to do this 3 to 5 times a day, or 3 to 5 hours a day. And I'm like, dude, I have class, I have work, I have a life. I want to spend time with people, you know, and I have other. He also told me that I don't need to be playing other games because it will make me rusty and I will lose my art for it or whatever. And whether that's true or not, I'm sure some of it's true. Like, yeah, I'm sure there's some tips to be better and to practice and, you know, yada yada yada. But it doesn't mean that I have to subscribe to his beliefs and do everything he asked, and, you know, like, he's got the secret tip. Like, yes, there are some actual ways, definitive ways you can get better at Smash Bros. But there's also a lot of just, like, you know, you just kind of, either you're good or you're not. You can practice. And he didn't like that. He, you know, he was like, no, you have to do X, Y, and Z. This is exactly how it is. And I went home that night and I just kind of got burnt out. And I was like, I don't want to play Smash Bros. If this is what it's like. I don't want to be on the esports team if this is what I'm going to have to do or he expects out of me. So, yeah, I did not. I didn't end up finishing out and joining the team, and I didn't even play Smash Bros. For probably about a year. And the thing is that that kind of stuff can apply to your work. That can apply to YouTube or really anything, any area of life. Like, you can be passionate about something, but if you have one bad experience or someone tries to, like, gatekeep and tell you how you can do things, well, next thing you know, you're losing love for it and something that you were just passionate about, like that, you know. And it's hard because it's not a switch that you can. Oh, I forgot about Crazy Hand. It's not a switch that you can just flip on and off. Like my wife was like, you know, like, how can you? What do you mean you don't love it anymore? Like, you don't want to do it? Like, you just wanted to earlier. Like, don't let him ruin that for you. And I said, well, the problem is he kind of already has. Like, it's not anything I can control. Like, I can say, yeah, I know that he's wrong and all that stuff, but I can't just, like, sometimes when you love something, it's unexplainable and you can't just, you know. Also, I love how he came all the way over there and I just heard him. I think I got this. Like, you can't just magically obtain that love back. Like, sometimes unexplainable things will make you lose it, and it sometimes takes an unexplainable thing to get it back. And you can't always channel that exactly when you want to. But yeah, just with any advice really, and this goes with my advice. I'm not saying, oh, this doesn't apply to me. I don't apply by my own rules that I'm setting. Like, if you get advice and you don't really like it, I'm not saying you just only should be told what you want to hear. But if someone is telling you advice and you just have a funny feeling in your stomach, or it doesn't sound right, and other people that you trust and are around and support you are like, there's something off about that, or that's asking too much of you, or to do too much, you know, yes, put in hard work, yes, make changes, but don't sacrifice what you love to do and you know, what makes you you. Don't sacrifice that just to please someone else that has no idea who you are and doesn't care if you make it big, because if you do, then they're right. But if they don't, well, then they still got your view, and so they win either way. That's not how that works. Like, I have a coworker, for example, that really wants to be a writer, and I know that's probably very difficult. I would not know the first thing about how to go about being a writer. But after watching that video last week, we were talking about it at work, and I just told him, I said, man, I know it sounds. It's probably easier than it actually, or it's harder than it sounds. But I said, you got this, man. Go be a writer. Just go put yourself out there. And now, obviously, you have to be realistic with some things. Not everyone can be an astronaut. But it's okay to have hobbies, and it's not unrealistic for those hobbies or dreams to turn into a living. I'm saying if you have a certain niche or a certain type of content that you have a passion for making, then make it. You can always improve your craft without, you know, losing your identity. Not everyone wants to see a million Mr. Beast clones. They want to see you. You know, they want your content. You could be someone's favorite creator that they've never seen yet. It's like the saying, you know, you probably haven't listened to your favorite song, or you probably haven't seen your favorite movie yet. And similarly, you know, you could say that, you know, your favorite movie was probably not created by the best director ever. Your favorite song ever might not be what's considered the greatest song ever, and it might not be by who's considered the greatest artist ever. You know, everyone's got different tastes. Just because your tastes aren't popular, don't line up, doesn't mean you have to give that up. There's an audience for everything. YouTube is so large, and there's everything. You know, with short form content, long form content, everything. And I don't want to ramble on super long and make the video freaking over an hour long and nobody will watch it, and then my advice gets lost in here and I'm not speaking to anyone. I am interested in making a video similarly to this one that talks about a big myth and lie I'm seeing spread across YouTube. And if you're interested, maybe consider subscribing and turning notifications on so when that video does drop, you won't miss it. Also, consider leaving a comment if something resonated with you, or there's a question or something you want me to hit up or talk about in one of my next videos. I'm going to put a video up on screen that's a new format that I'm really excited to try out, and kind of what I was talking about in this video about maybe wasn't super popular, but it's what I really wanted to do, and it's what I'm passionate about. So anyways, now that I've timed this one up and I finished all adventure mode and classic mode, thank you guys for watching. Go be you and go be creative, guys. Thank you.